is time for Emerald Eats, where we highlight some amazing food in our area.
And today we are joined by Taylor Thornhill with Bateau. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, so you're in Capitol Hill.
That's correct.
You've been there since 2015. Have you been with the restaurant the whole time?
I have. I was the opening chef of the restaurant and still going strong.
That's incredible.
So Bateau, which I had to double check on the pronunciation because I don't speak French, but it is French.
It is French.
For boat.
It is
Tell me
the
about
French word for boat.
Reason behind that.
One of the owners, Renee Erickson, owned a restaurant before called Boat Street. And so as she was kind of closing that restaurant down and we were opening, she wanted to kind of continue with the same theme, both restaurant name and concept.
So you guys really have an interesting sort of vibe in the restaurant. It's beautiful. I've seen the photos. I'm excited to visit. But you also have an in-house whole animal butchery, and you have a dry aging program. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so every week we buy an entire animal and we dry it. It's been aged for 21 days before we receive it. And then we also have a room on site that you mentioned, glass windowed, so you can see it from the dining room. And so everything that we're doing is on full display. So
awesome. You guys make some wonderful steaks, but tell us about what we're making today.
Yeah, we're going to make a couple different versions of steak tartare. So it's eating raw meat. And so we can talk a little bit about how to compose it, a great way to serve it if you're having some friends over or something like that. I think it's a great dish in that way. So.
All right.
So we have a cut from the leg. This is the top round. So when you're making steak tartare, it's not important that you have the most tender cut necessarily. Some people may think filet mignon or something like that would work well, but you can just as easily use a cut out of the leg. It's more economical, a little more affordable in that way, and has really good flavor, which is important. So.
Now, while you're chopping here, you have
sure.
to tell us, though. I feel like some people get nervous with the idea, even if they're meat eaters, eating raw meat. So how is this different?
Yeah, I definitely wanted to, talk to that a little bit, try to help people overcome that. So I think the biggest, most important thing is obviously understanding where the meat came from and getting comfortable with the people who are selling you the meat, so you have confidence that you can eat it raw and won't have any bad effects. So here we just have a couple pieces that have already been sliced. It's easiest to do this if the meat is super cold, so you can pop this in your freezer for a little bit, and you're just going to dice it. So strips and then finer dice.
It always makes me nervous when people chop with these big knives. You gotta tough the fingers, right? That's what I hear.
Yeah,
tough
for
the
sure.
fingers.
So essentially you're looking for small cubes of meat that are going to be easy to chew. So we already have some done. So we'll be able to put this on the tray here.
So with the definition of steak tartare being just you can have any meat raw, like what makes the difference between having it served and having it just come right out of your fridge?
So the steak tartare, is a pretty classic, iconic French dish in which you're taking raw meat, adding some seasonings. It's pretty traditional to have a raw egg yolk on top as well. You mix that in and then eat it with something salty, crunchy, either toasted bread, some potato chips. In this case, we have some tapioca chips. So.
But I think to Bender's point, we were always told, don't eat this raw and don't eat raw eggs.
Yeah, I think culturally, America specifically has a lot of concern around food. It's important to be safe, obviously. We can all get sick by eating food.
Today, maybe.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
He knows
This is the classy stuff.
Yeah, this is the good stuff.
Yeah, this is the good stuff. So we're going to add a few things to it, though.
Yeah, so at this point, you're just thinking about this. This is, you're seasoning it like a meatloaf. Maybe you could think about it that way. So at the restaurant, we have both Bateau, and then right next door, we have our sister restaurant called Boat Bar. So I'm going to show you the two different versions we serve there. Boat Bar version is going to start with some fermented parsley stems, some raw minced shallot. We'll add a little bit of salt, some whole grain mustard that we make in-house. This is beef garum, so you can think of this as like a soy sauce, but made with beef instead of soybeans. A little rendered beef fat, since we have a lot of that around the restaurant.
So you guys really want to use everything, really, that you can.
That's really what we set out to do. This is mustard seed oil, so just cold-pressed mustard seed oil. And we'll give this a good mix. So you just want to be thorough here, incorporating all the ingredients, making sure it's seasoned.
Now, I know you have a second dish to show us. We do only have about a minute left, so I think we'll do that on Instagram, but I definitely want to be able to try this.
Yeah, we'll finish this up and get it on the plate for you. So once you have a cohesive mass, put that on the plate. So this is where the classic part comes in. Get your hands dirty a little bit. Grab an egg yolk. It's kind of fun. Get all the white off of there. Put that right on top. Season with a little flake salt.
Beautiful.
And then at the restaurant, we're going to put the potato chips on the side.
Yeah. We hear the folks in in production. They are potato chips. Can I dig in?
You may, yeah.
All
So we
right.
have the chips there. We have spoons for you on either side.
Nice.